Alright, Shalom, Kalalal, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshua, Bashem, Kakadash. The ones that the apostles salute you, brothers, teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. This video, yeah. You know, a brother had sent me this. One of the brothers had sent me this documentary. You know, he had asked me, have you seen it before and stuff like that. I was like, nah. But I'm not sure if I've come across it before. That probably could have, you know, with research, because it goes back to 2013. So it's not new, you know what I mean? So, but there's so much stuff out there now. They got the American version, well, you know, the American documentary. I've got to watch that one. Have I watched that one before? I'm not sure. Could have, you know. But Apostle, when apostles talk about it, spoken about it. The American Blackout documentary, different brothers and whatnot. Now what I'm doing with this video is just a video just to go into what's gonna happen out here. And it's just really just, I'm gonna do a lot of talking more than anything else. Keep it short, but you know, when we read Second Ezra and Second Ezra 15 and 16, you know, we got a lot coming down the pipeline here, man. And this is why, let me type this in right quick here. Let's type this in. Let me just type this word in, because excuse me, when you check it out, this is the time we're in. So let's read Revelation 22 and 10. And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. And what time we're in? We're in the time of the prophecies speaking. And we're talking about destruction. We're talking about the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahweh, judging the earth as he judged Egypt. You know, Egypt got hit with them plagues and things of that nature. You can, you know, you watch a movie with Charlton Heston, Moses, and which, you know, they made him play it. You know, obviously we know Moses was a so-called black man, but you know, which is an Israelite. And notice we said so-called black man, because they would like to use that you know, that word and paint over who we actually are. They'll rather say black than Israelites, basically, man. You know, and then they want to call you Hamites and all this stuff, like, you know, which you know all that. But anyway, you know, at the end of the day, man, there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline. Now, I'm not going to play any of this because I don't know, you know, which I could. I don't think I'd get any strikes for this, but, you know, there's times I've done a video, man, and then you come to find out that at the end of the video's blocked. You could have done an hour video because they don't, you know, they don't want you playing their clip. There was one clip, and it's funny, the color scriptures is coming out. There's this one clip, and it's from the BBC, and basically they show, you know, so-called black Jesus, a black Jesus view, you know, which we know his name's Yahweh Shai, and he was a so-called black man. But what happens in it is he goes to a church, and then you got this Edomite looking dude in there, and he's telling the Edomite that, yeah, he's a so-called black man. Now, if you do a video on that, you get flagged, like it's copyrighted or whatever. So you can't play it. You pretty much have to, you know, leave it as a still. Okay. So that's how that goes. But you know, things are gonna get bad. Things are gonna get bad out here. So let's get another scripture out here. What I might do is I'll put a different thumbnail up on it in a minute. So this is Second Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? All right. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? So we're coming in a time of what, the beginning of sorrows, mournings, the beginning of famine, all of that. Now you know what, the spirit, you know, I'm gonna play some of it. So Lord willing, the spirit, and it's a long doc, you know. Just I've not highlighted nothing in particular, but let me just press play and see what this.
All right, this is the digital. We'll start again. Right.
Okay. In action, yeah.
I'm almost certain that one of the brothers that, you know, the brother that sent me, he's probably done a video on this. You know, now this, when you watch it, this individual here, he's showing off. You know, and this is what we say. So he's in that. Basically, he's a prepper, right? But he lives in London. I'm taking it, if I can remember, busy city, and he's just like in his house, you know. And you know how congested that place is. He's got neighbors all around him. He's not off the grid, you know what I mean? He's on the grid. But he's got like a bit of he's got a solar panel. He's got oh, what else did he have, man? He had some other stuff. He had the water. He was filtering the water from the radiators and all of that. Because the power went, everything went out. The power, electric. There was no water. There was no water coming through the taps, if I'm not mistaken, or there was. I can't remember now. I don't think there was. So he had to bottle the water or whatever before it like completely shut off, and then he started using it. Yeah, there was no water because the government had come. And the funny thing is what had happened is he was doing the water filtering, you know, stuff. You got you know, things that people do on that, but then there was no water, so the government brought the water in, right? And then his daughter got sick because the missus that he was dealing with, she like basically, he said don't drink the government's water, but you know the government started giving out this water to the people, crisis water. But he got the daughter sick, and guess what? And this is why these fucking women are off their heads, man. Guess what she did? She blamed his water. Oh, it's your radiator water and your tap water. And he said, well, we haven't even drunk none of that yet. So she got caught. And he was actually doing a blog. He was doing a blog. And she kept interrupting the blog. This is what we say, man. You know. Look, man. You see, you gotta see, men see the vision, you know, and you know, and the practical about it, man. Because at the end of the day, you still got a lot of these people out here, like, living as if, you know, everything's gonna just remain the same. It's not. Let me go back to the scriptures, and that's why I read that. So let's read 19. It says, behold, famine and plague. And you got them famines because everything was shut off. And you can see it's a planned famine. It's a control of the resources. It's an Illuminati agenda, which we'll have to go into in other videos, whereby they control the resources and all of that. And they force people to get their digital Yule, what's the digital Yule? The RFID chip. That's what they're forcing. They want to force people to get. So they need chaos in order to force people to accept this, what they want in. And one way that is starving you out. If people are starving out and then they say, well, look, man, we found a way you can eat. It's through this. You think people are going to take it? And it's a test. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Okay. But in all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Of people are still going to be wicked as hell. If someone's wicked, they're just wicked. You know, they'll do anything. So that's what we got here. Now another thing in this. Now I'm going to get another one. But he was doing, you know, he was doing a video here, and then somebody smelt that he was cooking some meat, his neighbours. So he went over and said, oh, you got cooking facilities. I mean, no, he said, can can I borrow it for a bit because I need to cook some burgers or something. So he wasn't on it, but you know, it was a bit too late. So the missus said, all right, fine, just quickly or some shit. He was like on it, just making them do it quick. But obviously, like, someone spilled, I think it's, you see that woman, man, someone spilled the beans about he had some, like some power supply in the house. And you went, oh, you got, I don't know if it was a generator or whatever he had. He had something. I can't remember, man, but they overheard that and now they didn't want to go. So then they kept turning up to that house, man. And they were getting more cutthroat to eventually just kicked his door off one day and cracked him around the head. And then you know what? I mean, you know, but anyway, he started to get in that looting spirit himself at the end of it. You know, he thought he was a victim, but see, man, he got in that manly spirit at the end. You know, he went to a warehouse to get, you know, loot some supplies. And he ended up doing what? He ended up taking someone out. Someone tried to take him out over the supplies in the warehouse. So he ended up taking the dude out. Let me jump to this way, yeah. Second Esdras 15:19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbour, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And these are what these documentaries show you, the good documentaries. And, you know, when Esau puts these things together, he's not putting it together because it's just a mythological concept. No. Matter of fact, has not the government out there been talking about how Biden, a lot of people have been blackouts, they've been talking about it, news reports, they're coming out, you know, government bodies, different members of the government, you know, representatives and all that are coming out and talking about blackouts. So when you hear that and you see that, you gotta take it fucking serious, because it is gonna happen. All right. And there's a whole plethora of things that are happening, taking place, but we're just highlighting this right now. You got the EMP thing, you got this, you got that, you got other ways. You know, once that grid shut down, and it goes into it, it shows you how everything will be affected. So in hospitals, they got emergency supplies on that equipment, you know, in blackouts. But guess what? That runs out eventually. People start dying and have to starting to turn off the machines and then prioritizing other people over others in those scenarios. Now, what I should do is get an article to back this up. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this. I don't really see this. Is what. Let me see if I can. Give me a second here. Give me a second. Let's see. What I've noticed with a lot of this stuff is that if you don't save the articles, it's hard to find them. So the first thing, you've got stuff that's come up. Energy experts warn of soaring UK price rises and blackouts in winter if Russia cuts gas supplies further. So now they're just blaming Russia. I can't remember what was the reason in the doc, but I'm damn tell you it weren't Russia. You know, but that's what they're gonna do. So they're saying if he restricts the gas supply, and you know this is all rubbish, man. What we do know is that they use stuff as an excuse. I'm gonna have to go back to that doc and see what they blamed it on then. And you know, this grid, the grid is like in the grid. It's all bullshit, man. Russia cannot stop the grid and electric from this bullshit. And Rothschilds, them elites in their bunkers, they're gonna have power supplies. Yeah, their own personal power supplies, but you know, this is where you trusting in Egypt and the government is gonna be your downfall, because these people don't give a shit. Uh, One second. It's all bullshit, man. What I am gonna do is there was this video on CERN and they were going into the grid, and now it's all like, you know, connected and all that. But I'll have to go into that in another video. Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. They trust in the system, they trust in the grid. But guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna lock the grid off. They're gonna lock it off. They're locking it off. And then guess what? You're gonna have to trust in the Most High, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai. You know what I'm saying? Now, what are these people gonna do? They're gonna become savages, barbarians, and they're gonna even be begging the government even more. And that's part of the plans of these elites, Illuminati, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Rockefellers. Is to have everybody begging them, you know, for this NWO, for this control. They've got other projects, the Venus project, this project, that project. Everything that they're doing is all in their manifestos, their plans. It's just playing out. But really, it's a test from the Most High. You know? And there is going to be mass death out here. Let me see if we can get some more stills here.
Just watch the cat.
See, it just shows you people are just, you know, just having normal times, and then things just start going wrong.
Somebody's really cocked up in government, haven't they?
Yeah.
I don't think it's like someone's job to keep the lights on.
So I don't want to play too much. Look at that. Why would they put that in there? You know what I'm saying? A demon. Like she's putting her hand as a demon on the wall to make it like, come on, man. Now, I didn't really want to play any of this. I played a bit. But, said it was an external power cut. And guess who's going to be shutting off the grid? The government. The government themselves, the ones you trust in, they're going to be shutting off this grid. So things are, you know, what's going to happen? Food's all going to be going off. Frozen foods. Things in the supermarkets, in fridges. You know, it's just going to be chaos, man. Then what are you going to do? So we're coming into the serious time, the time of the Lord's judgment. So this is a serious time, man. This ain't a joke, man. So you better get your head on right. And you know, we're at the end of this. So and that's just what it is. And the scripture says, you know, it talks about that we try to everybody's gonna be tried. Everyone's going to be tried to try the whole world. Everyone's going to be tried. You know, so you know, you gotta have it correct, man. You gotta get your mind on correct. Revelation 3:10, because I was kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So these are prophetic scriptures, you know what I mean? And you know, the spirit, you know, we focus on prophecy a lot. It's just how it is. It's just a spirit, man. You know, you're led by the spirit to do what you do. So, I mean, I kind of do a lot of prophetic videos, like, you know, goings on and, you know, chaos, you know, all this. I mean, a lot of brothers do that, and that's just what it is, man. But you know, that's what the prophets did. They did a lot of warning. This is gonna happen. That's gonna happen, and you know, the Most High is making us do this because you got to be warned before it happens. Like, if no one said nothing for a year, 2 years, you know, because remember, people are complacent as it is. and we're warning them. So just think about that one. So with that, I'm going to say shalom, man. All praise Yahweh, Shalom.